I just saw your comment, Jane. Hold on. What is it? Hold on. How do I access comments? Live chat. I thought I just tapped here and comments come up. Oh, there we go. This is live on Facebook. No, I did a separate video just before, a support video. So I'm here now with this particular healing event, which is for my patrons. For some of my patrons, the ones that pledged $50 or more for January, thank you so much. I have those of you who did that on my healing list today, and then our healing list event for those who pledged $15 or more for January. That will be taking place in a couple of days on Sunday. So I have 4 people on my list today, and I have those 4 people, their names in my pot here. So I'll pull their names out of the pot in a minute. So welcome and thank you. So the plan, the intention, I do this at the end of every month for the personal healing event. So basically I'll be spending around 10 minutes connecting with each person on my list today. So I should be here for about 35 to 50 minutes. And so I'll be focusing specifically on that person, and I'll be sharing with them and with you what is loudest in their vibration. So what is loud, I'm very sensitive to energy, and it's very hard to explain how, and I'm sure there's nothing special about me because I'm sure we can all do it, but the way I connect is that I think of the person. I've been doing this distantly for over 17 or nearly 17 years now. Wow. So I connect with the person either just through intention or with their name or what have you. And then it's weird. I become sensitive to that person's energy. It doesn't matter where they are in the world. But I know my energy. I know the configuration of my body and how I feel really well. So when the basic thing is when I'm tuning in, I'm sensitive to the parts that I now feel that is not how I usually feel or how I usually am. So these are the parts that I'm really sensitive to, and then I express or interpret or share or verbalize that energy as it's happening. So the loudest things stand out first, and I have to talk through them because otherwise the energy just stagnates. So if I've got a weird image, I have to talk about it, and it will often lead to some other path. And I've got to trust in the unfolding. So it's not up to me to filter or decide if you're ready to hear something or not. That's not my job. My job is to interpret the energy that I'm sensing. Your guides and your loved ones in spirit, your higher self, they can choose. If you're not ready to hear something, they're not going to show me. It's not my decision. So I trust in everything I sense, and sometimes it means the energy comes through pretty directly. It can be pretty brutally honest sometimes, but like I say, it's not up to me to pick and choose that energy. So if you're receiving or you're listening, just be open to receiving what you need and what stands out. If something triggers you, then I would be paying extra attention to that too. Because that might mean that there's some issue that's been uncovered. So that's kind of how I work. And then, so I just let it unfold. We just flow through. I've got around 10 minutes connecting with each person. I'll start with a healing energy card, and I'll finish with a healing energy card. And then I'll move to the next person. Now, if you're not someone who's on my list, or you're waiting for your turn, if you've just been led here and you're not one of the 4 that I'm connecting with, then I'm sure there's also something you can receive in this connection today. So I've been doing these kinds of connections for a very long time. It used to be on internet radio, and then it changed to these live types of broadcasts through video. But I'm always getting messages from people saying how someone else's guidance really resonated with them, and it was like I was speaking directly to them as well. Sometimes people are led here, and everything through the course of connecting with these different people resonates. So please don't discount the fact that your name might not be in a piece of paper today. So what I would be doing if I was listening and I wasn't, or I was waiting for my turn, I would be taking some big deep breaths. I'd be listening, but not only with my ears, I'd be listening with my heart and with my body as well, and really listening to the things that resonate. So the things that are what I've been thinking recently, the things I've been talking about recently, or things I've had going on that just happens to be said. So pay attention to those things. So I think that's all I need to say. So you can have a look on my Patreon page if you would like to be a part of this next month. And if not, enjoy. So the first person is this person. This person is Carlee Chirichiello. You're first today. So take a nice big breath, Carlee, and we will pull a healing energy card. I may talk about the healing energy cards in depth. I may not talk about them much at all. I just want to pull a healing energy card to start. These are also part of my starting the connection and ending the connection is with the cards. So Carlee, take a nice big breath, please. And your best card for now is this Third Eye Opening, card 21. This is in the Rise category, and it feels to me like an initiation, like these are two edges of a door, two pillars, and you're being summoned inside into yourself, and moving into your inner space, your inner time. It's almost like you're an island back here. In fact, it feels like an island as I look at this now. Like you've traveled across the water, you've traveled across the rough seas to get to this island, this private, almost sanctuary for you to connect with. So walk through the gates and enjoy this time of connection with you and what you've got going on. Okay, so Carlee, nice big breath. And let's see what is going on in your energy. Okay, we've got energy shifting just under the throat. So your throat chakra is sitting here, and it feels like just under the throat chakra, so just at the very bottom part, it feels sharp or like there's a cut. There feels to be something sharp and harsh happening here under the throat in very deep places in here. The feeling is that, like my initial feeling is that this is probably to do with maybe your own guilt, or a feeling of insecurity, or inadequacy. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Feeling inadequate. So there's something very sharp here, and it wants to cut through your throat. So your throat chakra is your center for communication, expression, and truth, and feeling safe to speak your truth and be who you are. If you've been or you are feeling suppressed, then that will usually sit here in your throat as well. So something that's cutting you off or severing here at your throat, and it feels old, but it also feels like it's very current. So it may be stirring up lately. So a way to describe this would also be like if someone has, or maybe yourself, maybe you've done this to yourself, but I'm not sure who's done it. It doesn't matter right now. There is a blade that's coming through and cutting, say, the bottom 1/6 of your throat chakra, and the energetic knife is staying there. So it feels sharp and it feels cut and it feels like it's severing. There's a lot of energy moving in the throat. It wants to move, and it wants to move out. So the throat and the sacral chakra, which is just below the navel, which we'll probably talk about at some stage today, but it doesn't matter right now because we're mainly talking about the throat. But these two centers are very much about getting energy moving out. So the throat, expression, getting the energy out from being bottled up. So this energy wants to move. It's shifting, it's moving, it's tickling, it's choking, it's very active in here, which is a great sign because it's showing this energy wants to move out. So I feel like the first thing we need to do is remove this dagger, this energetic dagger. It feels to me like it's coming in here on the right side. So it's probably coming in from a male figure, or coming in from a part of yourself that's trying to stay strong, but then underneath it's like a feeling of guilt or a feeling inadequate. Obviously not a word I ever really say, and I certainly wouldn't know how to spell it either. So yeah, that word is just coming in. So this is what feels like it's underneath the blade. And then all that's on top of the blade is who you present in the outer world. That's the feeling. So who you present in public or... okay, so before we pull this energetic dagger out, there is energy moving here in your heart, which feels very lung connected. In fact, it's getting a bit hard to breathe, like an asthma feeling that's come in, and a feeling of the breath or the life being almost sucked or drained out of you. And I feel like you're getting the life back somehow, like you're, you know, I get this visual of you sitting at a machine that's filling you back up with life force, filling you back up with blood, back up with air, back up with oxygen, back up with life. So I feel you're currently undergoing, maybe over these last couple of weeks, this receiving of, you know, a replenishment of the energy levels that have become so low for you, that you're replenishing yourself. So allow yourself to continue receiving, and just talking about this, it's already opening up this area at your heart and your lungs to bring them and fill them up with more life force and oxygen and life, because you know that life's calling you. So now life has called you, and I feel like it's now healing and getting into alignment with that life that's calling you. So healing first, and then that alignment is the feeling. Okay, so now the energy, the area around here, so around the side of your neck, is getting quite sore and heavy, and it's really, I want to sort of lean my head over. So this is getting really strong in here, a strong force of, I'm just trying to find the best words to describe it. I suppose it's a bit like the handle of the blade of the dagger trying to push in further, so it feels like a pushing sort of force, but more of a dull, not the sharp energy that I feel here in the throat. So it feels more like a dull push, like this energy is feeling threatened that it's about to be removed, so it's trying to push in further. So now it's just pushing across. So I feel that there's probably an imbalance too in your energy at the moment because of that pushing across feeling. So this knocks your left and right sides out of balance. But we'll talk about that in a minute, no doubt. Let's get this energetic blade out. So feeling like, grab the handle here, and on the count of 3, we're going to pull this blade out. 1, 2, 3, and out. Drop that blade, energetic blade, down to the ground where it just returns back to love. Now this blade is covered in blood, and blood to me is a sign of a connection between family or bloodline. So there's a connection with what this represents, that it's most likely connected with your family or bloodline, someone very close to you, or people very close to you, that maybe you've had to keep yourself suppressed, or your words shut out, that feeling of being inadequate. So dropping that down now, and then there's kind of just this numb feeling now. So let's just get this energy moving. Okay, so I'm feeling energy coming down from the universe above, and it's coming in 2 rays or 2 forms, coming down the side. So just over your ears, the side of your head, this energy, these 2 beams of white light come down and specifically just pinpoint here at your throat chakra. And as they push in, they're pushing old energy out. So it's a bit like having a fire hose on and pushing the fire hose onto a puddle or something, and all the old water goes pouring out, all the dirty water pours out, and the hose water starts filling up that puddle. That's what it feels like. So we're pushing this energy in, which is pushing the old energy out, like we're stomping in puddles of mud, and this energy is just sort of splashing out from your throat. So that watery energy that's connecting in here, very strong, shows me there's a lot of emotions too that's connected here, that you've got stored here in your throat, in the way you communicate, express yourself, and really who you are, your insecurities as well, and your suppression of yourself is likely very emotional, the energy that's sitting in here. So as all that mud splashes out and splashes away, this pool of your throat chakra starts to grow and deepen. It becomes less shallow of a puddle space, like a bowl of a puddle, and a deeper sort of form or shape, capacity for to hold energy here in your throat. So as that deepens, it now fills up with this white energy that's been coming in from above, and it fills up to its fullest capacity, right up, it feels like under your chin, and the water, that energy turns off. And it just now sits here like a pool, just a quiet pool sitting here in your throat. And your body, we just now bring it over from the left side. So bringing your left shoulder into alignment with your right, your left hip into alignment with your right, and bringing you back to center, and holding in this pool of energy here that's sitting in your throat. It feels very calm, but the energy's just dropped into a really calm space. So I trust this resonates. Carlee, let's grab a healing energy card just to see what it wants to add here or finish off. So the best healing energy cards is this here. What is it? It's upside down. It's navigation. Card 63, navigation. See how this fits. It's in the neutral, which I've now called growth category. It says get your bearings. Work out which way to go. Trust in your inner compass. Direction, navigate, passage through, consideration, steer yourself, and be clear. So this is very much about direction and working out where you're going. But like I said before for you, Carlee, it feels like your priority now is to heal so you can get into alignment. And then you're getting into alignment with where you're being called to in your life. So try not to feel that you should be kind of captain of the ship going in the direction that you're going in your physical life, but you might have to heal and recover to get into the captain's position, to turn the engine on and to get the ship going. So it feels like a recovery, a healing period, so that you can then move with the energy that's leading you forward. I trust that resonates. Thanks, Carlee. Namaste. Okay, let's see who's next. Next in here is this person. It's Carol. Carol White. Take a nice big breath, Carol, and let's see what comes up for you. We'll start by picking a card. It's very hot here today. Whew. It's going to be a very scorching day, I think, because it's only early. So the best card to start this connection, Carol, is this here. Yeah, this is a card I'm working on changing the title of. Card 96, Broken Heart, or I might call it Raw Emotion, and it's in the depth category. Down here it says New Hope. New hope entering after a period of disappointment, loss, or sadness. Raw emotion. Everything will work out. Trust in the bigger picture. So this is actually this is very interesting, Carol, because I just did your reading for the month of February, and after you see that, you'll see, see and listen to that, you'll see the connection here. But there's the feeling here of light coming in and replacing a darkness, a dark energy that's sitting underneath. It's almost like this is what's presented, but underneath there is this a wash of energy, and it's probably even partly hidden from you. So it feels like this, like how I've got my hand here. This is on the surface. This is probably where you are in this space, and then underneath it's like every now and then this raw emotion peeks up, this darkness from inside, this raw emotion. So there's hope here, there's light present, and it wants to overtake or overpower, I don't know if that's the right word. It wants to consume the dark in some ways. So let's see what's happening in your energy here. Okay, Carol. So first of all, I'm seeing a phoenix, and I'm seeing this phoenix. It's rising up from your feet, from your ankles, your knees, your hips. So your whole legs have turned into a phoenix, and this part of you is pushing up, just like from your hips down is like the engine or the fiery part from a rocket. So if the rocket part was from your hips up, the force or the fire, the engine that comes out from the rocket, that is from your hips down. It's a bit strange. That fiery part from your hips down feels like phoenix energy, which is very much about rising up. It's about transformation as well and rebirth. And I feel like there's a shift that's happening. And I just remembered your meditation for this month was very fiery too, wasn't it? Yeah, so there's lots of fiery energy that wants to burn through the old stuff, but also ignite you into the next level that you are being called to take, and you're being called to rocket into or fly like the phoenix into. It feels like the process of flying into it is very healing. And even though it might be some time away before you land your rocket, I feel like this process now of burning the old energy, especially around your legs, there's a lot of energy stored in here, is the feeling. They feel very heavy. And almost like the fire is just like this ongoing burning, trying to really get deep into your legs, to shift deep energy, almost like it's deep energy inside your bones that this fire energy is trying to get to clear and to change things on a very, very deep inner level. So things are shifting here, things are changing. It might not be as quickly as you would hope or like, but there is definitely transformation happening here, especially in your legs. So keep nurturing and looking after them, keep rubbing them, keep moving them, stretching them, shaking them. You know, stand on one leg, shake your legs out. This might be really helpful over these next couple of months. So getting ready to take off. So let's look at this point where the flames of the engine turn into the rocket. So right at your hips, and it almost feels like a ledge or a change of energy here around your hips. It goes all the way around to your tailbone. So we're talking about your base chakra, which is your center for grounding, your physicality and survival as well. And it feels very metallic, so very much like steel or aluminium. That sort of makes up this sort of rocket or this body of your being in this state that I'm sensing. It feels very burny, but almost dancey with the fiery energy underneath. But there is this hard core that the fire's trying to penetrate. So just continuing to let that do its thing. But your hips, your base chakra, very much getting my attention here. And in some ways I want to blend these two elements together. So like if I was drawing a picture and I had aluminium or steel for the rocket, and it was very distinct, very shiny, very smooth, very crisp, and then below that was all the fire coming from the engine of the rocket, which has a different, very moving sort of feeling to it, very hot. You could almost put your hand through it if you weren't going to burn, but there it's a transparent sort of energy. So I want to blend. So if I was drawing a picture, I'd be blending these two lines together, because I feel this is important to help you blend more in your life, but especially with where you are now and where you want to be, instead of feeling like a detachment or a disjointment here, to actually blend these two things together, so that you feel motivated in your physical life and doing your physical things that you're doing, and bringing that motivation into your physical things and physical tasks. So I feel like I want to comb up, like draw up the fire with my fingers, draw it up from under your hips and up to over your hips, so it can blend through this area. So we can't distinctively see where the fire stops or starts and this other surface stops or starts. So really blending through. So I feel like I'm wisping or teasing someone's hair, and just blending this fire up to blend this fiery energy up through into your physical body. There's energy stirring here in your sacral chakra, which is your center for emotional, sexual and creative energy. So there's old emotion sitting here in your belly that's also wanting to burn up. So I bring the fire up into your sacral chakra at the front. It feels quite bloated here actually. So a lot of airy mental energy that's also storing down in here. So probably worry about things. And so I'm just combing that fiery energy up into your sacral chakra to burn away and transform that energy in there. And then just draw it. Let's just draw the fire up. Feel like I want to draw it up through your spine, up through your heart, which is starting to get very hot now, and up into your throat, which is shifting energy. Now these little flames, just small little flames, just spark out from your throat and out through your mouth, like just little sparks of light, just releasing. The very, don't know if gaseous is the right word, but probably more gas than fire. So flicking and these sparks out and breathing them out and away and letting go. And I feel like you've just had a real like clear out or burn out through your body, through your spine, through your digestive system as well. But your legs, they're still undergoing deep healing through there. So it's probably started since the meditation that we did the other day. So let's see which card wants to add here for you, Carol, to tie this up. And the best card to tie this up for you is this one. What is it? It's this creation card 30. It says create something, blank canvas, potential, a window of opportunity exists, welcome it into your life, increasing confidence, practice, and make. So this is like the blank canvas. It's raw creation. And I feel like this is what's happening with the fire. Almost like it's taking you back to your core or back to your blank self, but blank's not the right word. It's like creating space in you for new to come in is the feeling too. So it's the blank canvas. It's the raw creation, raw creativity that's been stimulated, and you may not quite see it yet, but maybe it's starting to spark up or spark in you, is that it's shifting things. It's preparing you for bringing something new into your life. That's the feeling. So thanks, Carol. I trust this resonates, and thank you so much for your support. Okay, we're halfway through. I'm going to grab a little drink, and we'll see. How are you going? So we'll see who's next. Next person is this person. And this person is Susan. Susan Sonsteng. Please take a nice big breath. And let's see which card you need to begin with. And we'll go from there. Okay. Your best card is this. What? Here. New vibration. Card 38, in the neutral or growth category. Ground, connect, upgrade, uplift, new vibrations coming in. You are the one who must do the action, nurturing and follow through. So, okay, nice big breath for me, Susan. Let's see what's loudest in your vibration. Okay, so I see a doorway right in front of you, and the door is closed. And I'm very much being drawn to the hinges, the side of the door where it opens from. Oh, so the hinged part, the part where it's fixed. So not the openable part, the fixed part that it pivots from. So I'm being drawn over to that side. And what's sort of behind the door, it feels like something behind the door. And we're preparing, or you're preparing to go in the door, but you're pulling the door to walk through. There's energy moving also in your throat. But we're not quite ready to open the door yet, because I feel like there's something that I'm curious about that's sitting behind the door. So the door's closed, but just there at the back of the door, just past that sort of hinge area, there is something small. So my first impression is it feels like a puppy or some type of little animal, a little creature, but it doesn't feel active. It feels like it's sitting there. So it might be like a taxidermy or a stuffed thing, or it's just resting. I'm not really sure how alive this energy is, but it's sitting there, and my first impression is it feels like a small animal, but it's not moving, so it's just sitting, it's just there in that space. And there's a black and white feeling here too with it. So I'm moving over to this energy because I want to look at it more closely. And it is very alive. It actually feels like a big bunch of fungus, very slow growing fungus, like a little group like if there was a rock or a little tree stump or something that all this fungus has been growing from. So it's just full of fungus and mushrooms, slowly growing and growing in the night. So they're being really fed on your fear and fed on the things that are happening inside you privately. So the things that you might be afraid of or that you might be resisting or have issues with. So it feels like they grow in the night. They're night growing, but also it feels like they illuminate in the night or when the moon's out, like the mushrooms and the toadstools and all these little fungi things. They actually glow under the moonlight. So it feels like the moon and that lunar energy is actually key in helping you illuminate this issue so that you can clear it. It reminds me too of like coral, like coral growing on a rock, but really slow growing under the right conditions. So it has that fungi coral sort of feeling here. But it's very much alive, but it's very slow growing. And it feels like it's hidden. So if we didn't look down there, if I wasn't drawn to that spine of the door, we probably would have just walked through the door. So I'm very curious about this energy. Why is it there? Why is it trying to hide itself? Why does it want to stay behind the door? So it feels like something underneath the surface for you, maybe a fear or an insecurity or an issue. But let's see what's happening in your body. You got energy moving down your right leg, the upper part from your right hip down to your knee. So this side of your body, and especially the leg, is about movement forward into your future. So it makes me feel like there's something stuck, something maybe that's connected with fear or some other issue that is keeping you stuck back in the past, where your soul is wanting you to move forward. So your body is wanting you to move forward. You feel enticed forward, but there's also this stuck feeling as well at the same time, like a stuck heavy feeling with this right leg, especially this upper part, because you want to move, but maybe your hands are tied. Maybe you can't even move yet because there is a feeling that maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you don't have the finances to move, to make this move. It might not necessarily be a moving location, but maybe there is something that you're feeling tied down with, or something that is not quite ready so that you can make that move. So let's deal with this cluster of fungi and coral sort of energy and see what we need to do with this. Okay, so there's a light that's glowing. It feels like the moon right up above this kind of rock of coral fungi. And so it's illuminating the top of these mushrooms and toadstools and things that have been growing. And these are very, they're very much illuminated, luminescent. And there's a feeling that I don't want to pick them because it feels like they're poisonous somehow. But I'm just saying that. I'm not going to not do anything with it because it needs to be moved. But I'm just saying there might be some fear of going in there just in case I get poisoned or catch something, or, this sort of feeling. So I put on gloves, as we do. Put on gloves and just start plucking all these little mushrooms and toadstools and bits of growth, and there's little coral bits in between. I'm just plucking these off like picking flowers. They actually lift off really easy. They're very soft, very mushy. So there's a sensitivity here with this as well. So just plucking them off and dropping them down to the earth, where they just return back to love, just back to energy that they simply are without being in that form. So plucking this away, and underneath all this fungus is this black, it looks like a black volcanic rock that's full of pits and holes. It's actually quite beautiful. And it's black, like it's black glassy volcanic rock. It's very heavy. It feels very much like an anchor, like a weight, almost a burden that is being carried too. And my hands, my palms are really filling up and soaring with a lot of healing energy right now. So I feel like I want to pick this rock up and what it represents. Pick this rock up and drop it to the ground. It actually wasn't as heavy as I thought, or how it looked. Drop it to the ground where it drops in a thunk and then just disperses and returns back to love. So now we've just got it's almost like a shadow here of what was. So we just sweep this energy out from behind the door so that you can open the door fully. I didn't realize this would have stopped the door from opening fully. So this fear or whatever this is that it represented was actually going to stop you from being able to open this door fully in regards to what that door represents and where you're going. So take a nice big breath, Susan, and let's open the door and walk through it. So nice big breath. As you reach down with your right hand, pull the handle, open the door, pull it towards you. It opens fully so you can now walk through. And I feel you walking through with your heart. Walking through with your heart. So it's like your heart is the force that's pulling you forward. So I trust this resonates, Susan, and thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you today. Your best card to finish this up or tie this up is, so there's definitely a lot of new energy around, and it's just probably a matter of just clearing up the issues that surface as you're moving towards that new thing. We have this. Notice the details. Card 61, it's in the depth category. It says make sure that you understand and comprehend what is being communicated. Don't fill in the blanks or read between the lines. Pay attention, think, and read. So this is about really getting more information. So for you to maybe proceed now through this doorway into the unknown and wherever it is that it's taking you, maybe the next step, or maybe you've already started doing it, is to gather information. And, you know, get the facts rather than jumping to assumptions or conclusions. See if you can get the facts from the experts. And if you can't find an expert, maybe there's research or something that you could do. But it feels like information's required to move to the next step on your new path with new vibration. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you. Namaste. And thank you for your support. Okay, lucky last. I'll just take the last mouthful of my water and pull from the pot our last person, which we know is Kanti. So Kanti, take a nice big breath, please, and let's see what's loudest in your vibration today. So nice big breath. Okay. There's a lot of heart energy that wants to come in. You can feel it piercing like arrows coming into your heart. Ancestral inspiration, card 4. It's in action category. It says healing through the bloodline and the family. Embrace what you can of the past and let the rest go. Changes in the family and you are your own person. So there's family, there's bloodline energy that's shifting, ancestral stuff that's shifting, but also stuff from your past that you've been encouraged to let go of the painful stuff and carry the beautiful things with you into your future, like this beautiful whale in this picture. So take a nice big breath, Kanti, and I do feel this strong force coming to your heart, and it's like arrows but they feel like nice arrows. Like golden tipped energetic arrows. They don't even feel that dense. They feel quite light, like light arrows coming into your heart, golden. There's lots of them, like dozens. They're just shooting in. So it's like energy coming in, but it's in the form of these very pinpointed arrows. So lots of focus as well coming in. Focus on your heart. And all arrows are pointing to your heart. So no matter what issue or what you're dealing with right now, see if you can look at it from a heart perspective. Because it's not just energy coming in. I feel like these are pointing to your heart, you know, like 100 fingers pointing here. So go this way. And it feels to be all pointing at your heart. So whatever question you have, whatever dilemma you're dealing with, wherever you want to go, see how it fits and feels in your heart. This feels like a prime objective right now, at least for the next couple of days, is the feeling. So this energy pours in through your heart and pours into your heart, and then flows down on the inside of your body, just like a waterfall, but in reverse. So it's like the arrows are the water, is the water coming down, and then as it falls over the edge of the waterfall, it's actually falling into the edge on the inside of your heart. So you've got this internal waterfall happening as this energy kind of falls over from your heart and starts filling up the inside of your body. So looking at it, so if I was looking at you, it would be like the arrows coming in and then they're going somewhere, but I know that, and I can sense that they're going like a waterfall from the inside. So it's like reverse. It's really cool. It's cool. It's cool energy too. So it's quite cool and refreshing. So it's washing and it's flushing from your heart down to your solar plexus especially. So that mergence of heart and power, and finding that balance there between heart and power, which actually reminds me of the guidance that I've just recorded for you for February, which I haven't sent you yet, but that will make sense too. So this refreshing, clearing energy that's clearing the bridge between your heart and your solar plexus, that love heart flowing space and your power center. And as that energy, it pulls at your power center, at your solar plexus, so it, like all the waterfall runs down and settles in a pool down here and then trickles off. So then it trickles off in several different directions, like small little streams that are going down the rest of your body. So one goes off to your right hip, one goes down your left hip and down your leg, and one and two on either side of your navel goes down your sacral chakra and down to your base chakra, and then down the inside of your leg and down to through the inside and the inside of your foot as well, and then out through the base of your foot, the sole of your foot there. The other ones coming down from your hips are going down the front, so the outside of your knees, down your shins, and then down your feet and dispersing out through all of your toes, where this energy is flowing out through your toes. And this is just like the gentleness of the water. So the intense part is actually pooling at your solar plexus. So there's energy accumulating here, and you might find that the energy builds up to over the next couple of days, where you find this increasing sense of maybe confidence or courage and personal power in here to even just to have a go. Whether something works out or not, there is just this willing sort of energy that wants to come forward. So this is all feeling really good. Let's see what else we need to do. So just dusting off like with a brush. So very dry, dusty, little gravelly sort of energy, just dusting off around here, around the small of your neck or around your neck here, and the back of your neck and across your shoulders, just clearing just little bits of dust and debris through there, and also a little bit of brushing of dust away from your third eye chakra, just clearing that, and your energy feels good, feels nice and balanced. So let's grab a card to see what this wants to add here for you, Kanti. Oh, nice big breath. Okay, we'll see what this wants to add and if it wants to help tie up this connection. So the best card to tie this up is this. It's this one. Emotional Rebirth, card 67. It's in the action category. And these feel like fern fronds opening up like springtime. So there's this unfurling, this opening, especially on an emotional level for you. It says a new level of feeling. Allow how you feel about something or someone to change, especially about how you feel about the past or how you feel about your family or your bloodline. Emotional transformation, flow, maturity, and a new perspective. So allowing yourself to continue to grow emotionally. And it's not something that happens, like overnight, click your fingers and you're at that optimum space of growth. I mean, trees and plants take time to grow, and they're always just growing depending on the environment around them. They might have a growth spurt. There might be other times where they don't really grow much. but they're always having that growth that's taking place. So it's not something that's suddenly going to be here, but I feel like you're currently in the process of an emotional rebirth and moving into a new clarity in how you feel about certain things, or how you feel about your balance, how you feel about, you know, that balance between flow and structure, these types of things. So yeah, thanks Kanti. I trust this resonates, and thank you so much for your support. Namaste. And thank you so much for connecting, and I trust you've enjoyed this connection. I'll be back on Sunday for our healing list event for patrons, so I look forward to that. See what the weather's doing, what we might do for that. I don't know. I will feel on that as it gets closer. And if you want to be a part of this connection next month, please have a look on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Temple of Balance, and you can find the link in the video description. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.